26-year-old Mpho Msauli was shot and killed last month, allegedly after refusing to accept advances made to her by a man. The alleged perpetrator is expected to appear before the Pretoria Magistrates Court on Monday, and members of the community are demanding justice for Mpho. Nhlanhla Tshabalala, the uncle of the deceased, joins me now this evening. Thank you so much, Mr. Tshabalala, for joining me. Of course, it's not always easy talking about this and talking about Mpho's death, but thank you so much for coming to us here on eNCA to discuss this very important matter. I think maybe just first and foremost, we can just start with you sharing us, some of the details about the events leading up to Mpho's death on the 29th of July.
Okay. Firstly, I need to correct this. Tomorrow, the court is in Proti Magistrate Court in Soweto.
Okay.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And then on the 29th, Mpho and friends, they were from one house, from the friend house. And then they were just walking. It was around between 9 and 10 in the evening. So when they come back, she was going back home after they've spent the time there. And then there was this maroon Quantum. And then he come and stop, and then that guy was asking like maybe he wanted direction or whatever. And then when he started, then he said to Mpho, the other one, it was a passenger that was sitting on the left-hand side. And then when he wake up, because he was relaxing in the car, and then when he wake up, he said, I love this lady here. And then after that, there was that argument, and then Mpho said, no, I have my boyfriend, I'm taken already. And then that guy, they start arguing, and then after that, that guy comes out, and then he pulled a gun, and then they ran away, and then Mpho also was trying to run away, and then he just shot Mpho right on the head. And then they ran away with the car, and then when they go back, and then they find that Mpho is asleep on the pool of blood, and then they went to my home to call other sister, and then when they come, then they took him to Shawela Clinic. And then from there, then the doctor reported that she passed away.
Yeah. It is quite devastating that, a walk with a group of friends, can end up in something like this. It just shows you that, the issue of GBV in this country is a massive, massive, massive problem. But before I get to that, I just want to maybe also, like you said, maybe clarify when it comes to the arrest in connection with Mpho's murder. Maybe you can shed some details there as well. What's the latest you can tell us about the arrest, maybe the investigation process as well? Any developments there?
Well, the guy that they caught is the driver. The perpetrator is still on the run. But I think they will get him because they're working 24/7 to get him. Yeah.
Then, of course, GBV. This is one of those sad cases in this country. And unfortunately, your niece was now one of the victims of GBV. I think, especially when it comes to the taxi industry and the taxi associations and taxi members, how is this connected? The GBV and the taxi owners, is there a correlation there when it comes to GBV and taxi drivers?
Well, I can say they are part of GBV because, when you look at the ranks, when the lady pass, they've got those funny comment. So I think taxi drivers, they've got a tendency of not behaving. And then I think the owners, they must take this thing in consideration because I used to be a taxi driver. On our time, we used to be disciplined. But now these guys are no more disciplined. I think the owners themselves and also the association, they need to come back with tough laws for the drivers so that because you can't survive without the communities. So now if those are your bosses, not the one who's owning the taxi, because if people, they don't use taxis, and then there is no business for taxi drivers. So they need to respect the community.
Yeah.
They need to respect those people because they are the one who put their bread on the table.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm not sure if this is true or false. Maybe you can also correct me if I'm wrong. But we've heard there's also been some intimidation from taxi drivers now after this towards community members, threatening them as well. I don't know if that is the case.
No, there is nothing like that. We are working together with the Taxi Association. So we need to come together and finish these things. And then also I think the JMPD, they must come to party because other drivers, they do drink and drive.
Yeah.
So which means we need to work together as a community to fix this industry. Because without us, there is no taxis.
Let's talk about you as a family, because obviously Mpho, her absence must be felt greatly. Maybe just, explain to us how the family is doing right now.
Well, my mom, I'm from hospital now. My mom, she's in hospital because of that. And then he had a heart problem. So we don't know what is the result tomorrow when the doctor comes. I think also my father, because my father is 80 years old. So he's also not well. So we need also to get them the counseling and also the sister to Mpho. All of them, like even myself, I'm not fine because like between in the middle of the night, I wake up and think like what went wrong? And then because we're expecting a lot of things from Mpho. So we miss him a lot. Like even today, yesterday there was a party with another family. The family member is going to overseas. So like they were thinking about Mpho. And then one of the sisters, she was crying. And then also my son, they were crying. And then like they missed that young lady there. Yeah.
I want to talk about the driver of the vehicle. You said that the guy that pulled the trigger is still
on run.
Not arrested. Have you heard anything from him, from the driver, or what is he saying? What led to this? Yeah.
Well, the driver, well, I will also blame him because after that he went to the police station and the false report that he was hijacked, and then only find that when he came then when he said the registration number, and then they combined these two registration numbers, the one that shot Mpho and also the one that he said is hijacked. And then after that, and then the police, they said, no, we can't take any statement now, but we'll just make a report. And then after that, they phoned one of the lady that was with Mpho. And then only found that she didn't have a transport to go to the police station. And then they went there to collect the lady. When they came back from collecting the lady, when they go to the police station, and then they found that the guy is gone. And then...
How does something like that happen?
Well, but after that, then because the owner and the Taxi Association and the owner, we came, and then after that, the guy he ran away to Ladysmith, and then they went there, and then they come back with him.
Well, I know at her funeral was attended by the owner of the vehicle, who was involved in the incident there. I think you might have mentioned it earlier as well. Has the Taxi Association been helpful in this regard?
Yes, no, they were involved because also when we were going out, the squad cars, they were there, and then they were helping us a lot. Even the part of the funeral, they pay some funeral fees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know Mpho had many dreams and aspirations as well.
Yes.
I heard that she wanted to become a journalist.
Yeah.
Maybe just elaborate on that and her dreams to become a journalist.
Well, you want to become a journalist or a social worker. So, but as you know, the challenges of money to go to university and all those things, that was a challenge. But he was saying that I want to be a journalist. And then other thing that when he went out on that Saturday, he went there because of application for the job. So he was trying to say, now if I can get a job and then I can go to this care of man and pursue it.
What would you now like to see happen? Justice for Mpho, but what else?
Well, I think and we need to talk to guys. And the other thing, I will put the blame on us as a male, as an adult, because now the boy child, always we talk about the girl child. Take a girl child to work, do this for the girl child and all those things. But now if you bring up that girl child, you bring up that girl child for who? Because now if you don't build a boy, and then there is something that is missing. So in our area, we are starting to handle that, because now we need to concentrate also to the boy child, so that if he grow up, he knows the values of the wife, and then he must know the values of the community. And then that's what we are trying. And then I think if we men, we can start holding a boy child with a hand and show him the right way. And then, and also if we can try to don't buy this toy gun for our boy child, because that's something that make him like, yeah. So we need to make the boy child to understand this thing that is dangerous. And I don't understand this guy because he's a Zulu guy, and then in Zulu we respect ladies. So if you are that kind of a person, I don't know where, but I will blame the elder people from that family. Yeah, because if you bring up a good guy, and then you will know the values of the girl.
It's very important to educate our young men and boys when it comes to GBV and related cases, so that we can build a stronger nation, because we know that GBV is a pandemic in this country. Thank you so much, Mr. Tshabalala, for sharing your story with us, and hopefully justice will be served for you and your family, and for the community as well.
Okay, thank you.
That was Nhlanhla Tshabalala, the uncle of slain Mpho Msauli. Of course, we know that that court case will be taking place this week, and her killer is still at loose, but hopefully will be found and arrested very, very soon.